Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and check this out. I'm showing the return rates on coinpaprika.com, and I wanted to let you check this out. Every once in a while I like to go and revisit this. As of right now, as I'm looking at it right now, the price of XRP is at 50 cents. 7 days, 31.5%, 30 days, 52.88%, 1 quarter, 46.98%. We're still down on the year, but it's basically, I guess, recovered half of it. Now, I was watching, sometimes every once in a while I watch some guys that do TA. Now, keep in mind, this is Altcoin Daily. These are Bitcoin guys, but their eyes and ears, I think, are perking up over what's been going on with XRP. Listen to what they say here.
I might be tempted. I'm not the biggest XRP guy, but at 22 cents, I might be tempted to pick up a little more XRP. I bought some a long time ago, but that's a pretty good sale, in my opinion. If they win the case, I think it's reasonable to think XRP is going to take another shot, at least at its 2021 high. That'd be around $1.60. I guess this chart doesn't have all the data, but XRP traded, I believe it was to $3 in 2018, something around there. If they win the case, it wouldn't surprise me to see actually the entire crypto market see a little bit of rejuvenation. We might see, bringing it back, maybe even Litecoin returning to its previous all-time highs. I don't think that's out of the question for XRP. You know, even throughout delisting, throughout the SEC case, it hasn't done a ton of upside action, but it hasn't broken to new lows. It's really held pretty strongly throughout all of this, and it's still in the top 10. If it has a huge event and people get very hyped and lots of money pours into it, the whole market could see upside action with it. So I'm rooting for Ripple. I'm hoping the chart is showing us a little bit of the future.
So I think you get the picture here, folks. These guys are starting to get it. You know how I think this story ends, folks? Sorry, I got interrupted with a phone call, but do you know how I think this story ends? I think this story ends with XRP being the only digital asset with real clarity. I think this story ends with the XRP all-time highs being a joke compared to where it goes. But that's just me. I want you to see this from link to my sponsor, because they're seeing what we're all seeing. And I want you to hear what they're talking about Ripple and XRP in this clip.
Hi everyone, Ray Fuentes here, Community Director at Link2, the investment platform responsible for transforming the private equity landscape with its point, click, and invest interface. Due to recent advancements around the SEC versus Ripple case, we're receiving significant customer feedback regarding Ripple with key consistent messages. Number one, there's a concern as the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit progresses, the prices for Ripple shares are rising and the window to access Ripple private equity at all may be closing. Number two, some investors feel that the best way to participate in this story is to buy equity shares of Ripple for these reasons. The team is top-notch, Ripple is cheaper, faster, and more reliable than the SWIFT system, and Ripple's total addressable market is massive. Number three, other investors feel that investing in XRP is the optimal approach for these reasons. XRP is a bridge asset that can exchange any fiat to any fiat globally. XRP isn't owned by any government agency, and XRP is cheaper, faster, and has instant settlement capabilities. Number four, a group of investors, including myself, are investing in both.
There you go. Now we're talking. That's what I'm doing too. And I'm investing if I'm buying XRP, I'm doing it on Uphold, who's also one of my sponsors. The links to both of these sponsors will be in the top of the description of this video. And also what's interesting is that your Uphold wallet, if you've got an Uphold account, is also linked to Link2. And so you can literally buy the Ripple private equity with XRP or with other digital assets that you have in your wallet. Coolest thing going. Now, check this out. Watch this from this guy.
Hello, hello, hello. What have we got here then? Crypto.com have just put a daily trading limit on XRP. Shit's getting serious, people. 24 hours ago, You could buy as much XRP as you wanted through crypto.com. Now they're limiting you to 982,353 XRP per day. Now, I know a lot of you won't be able to afford that kind of money, but the fact that they've put a daily trading limit on it tells me that things are starting to get real. So if you're going to get in it now before the price fucking pumps.
Oh, things are starting to get real, all right. Brad Garlinghouse is doing even more rounds. Now, CNBC on their show Crypto World had him on, and there's a bunch of clips. You need to watch the whole thing, but I'm going to show a couple of them that I found interesting.
Rules. Well, so I do think, as you say, I think it's a pretty bellwether case at this point. And we talked about, the Howey test is this Orange Grove for a Supreme Court case in the 40s. I think that the Ripple test may be what we look at in the future. And, there are a lot of facts and circumstances that can be unique. But for Ripple and what the SEC is trying to do, I do think it's just the SEC trying to overreach the statute. And again, Congress gives the SEC power. The SEC can't just go take power. Congress has to pass laws that say, here's the framework. And in this case, what we're really talking about is the 1933 Securities Act, which created the SEC, which said if there's an investment contract, later on the Howey test. Look, we are very confident, as evidenced by the fact we filed summary judgment. We think, again, the facts are clear. We think the law is on our side, so we want to get to that resolution. But I do think it's important for the whole industry, because if the SEC is going to be the regulator of all crypto, and again, Gary Gensler, the current chairman of the SEC, has said he views virtually all crypto as a security. That's really going to change crypto in the United States, which is the largest economy in the world. I think we all should care that we're able to continue to innovate on these technologies and build solutions using these technologies that really can make the economy more efficient.
And so looking at either side of how this ruling may turn out, I mean, if the judge rules with the SEC and deems XRP a security, what does that mean for the larger industry?
Well, I mean, for Ripple, I think for Ripple, we're already operating in a world. It's almost as if we have lost the lawsuit, simply because you don't have XRP trading here in the United States for all intents and purposes. Uphold is one exchange still allows trading of XRP, but other than that, everyone else halted trading here in the U.S. So I think if we prevail, we'll now have more liquidity in the XRP ecosystem in the largest economy in the world. We think that's good for everybody. It also, I think, really sets a tone for other cases the SEC is pursuing now. And they've been quite aggressive, as I think has been kind of well reported in their kind of overreach and some of the letters that have gone out, that even congressional leaders have reached out to the SEC asking for explanation. If it doesn't go Ripple's way, I think Ripple can continue to grow our business. It'll just be largely a non-U.S. business, which would be unfortunate. And I think it would give the SEC more stand.
Okay, and then there was a couple more clips that I thought were good. Let's do this one.
Of Bitcoin and perhaps Ether as falling under the purview of the CFTC. You this week met with Caroline Pham, who's one of the commissioners of the CFTC. What did you guys talk about?
Well, I think Commissioner Pham's learning. I think she's very bright. Still, relatively new to her position, and I think trying to learn. And I think she has spoken out about the need for the clarity that we have been seeking. And so, even what you're describing, the SEC Chair Gensler has said he won't comment on specific projects. He does comment on Bitcoin, which is a specific project. When asked directly about ETH, despite the previous administration, they viewed ETH to have been a security, then transitioned to a non-security. You now have the SEC making noises that perhaps ETH is indeed a security, and even in a recent legal filing not related to Ripple, they made the assertion that because most ETH nodes are based geographically in the United States, that they have jurisdiction to regulate ETH. So look, I do think at the core we have to go back to what is the law? What is the statute that Congress wrote to give the SEC power? And in this case, I think the SEC has greatly overstepped, and not just in this case, but what we're seeing with ETH. Gary Gensler also likes to say, that the rules are clear, but then you ask him, well, is ETH a security? He won't answer. Well, if they're that clear, let's provide the clarity that everyone's seeking.
This whole interview was really good. I'm not going to play any more of it, but you do need to go and watch it. Now, I want to draw your attention to something right here in this clip we played, where he says he thinks that we'll see a Ripple test. And I want to remind you that this is Stuart Alderoty's tweet. This is what he tweeted right when the lawsuit dropped back on December 21st of 2020. The first thing he said And this kind of goes in the All the World's a Stage file for me. First thing he says is this right here. Goodbye Howey test, hello Ripple test. And then we also had, here's what Brad Garlinghouse was saying in his final act about picking winners and losers. And then, but here's what I also wanted to draw your attention to. I find this interesting, and I retweeted it today. Michael Arrington is Brad Garlinghouse's best friend. And if you look at this, this is like just a day or two after the lawsuit is dropped. Michael Arrington tweets this out. Passions erupt over Ethereum Foundation selling at an all-time high via Decrypt Media. And he's retweeting an article. This is from, the article's from like 2019. So there's a reason that he's trying to draw people's attention to Ethereum. And then later, the whole reason that we discovered ETHgate is because in some of the court filings and some of the court documents when the SEC sued Ripple, is that Ripple brought up Ethereum. And so what my point is, and see, Arrington also highlighted this from Vitalik Buterin. Okay, you guys can stop trading. And the point is, I think that these guys knew that there was something really shady going on with this SEC case and with Ethereum being left alone. I think they're probably, as I said in this tweet right here, I think that Michael Arrington and Brad Garlinghouse, let me get to it here. This is what I said. A couple days after the suit, they had to already know there was something shady going on around Ethereum. I bet they never thought in a million years the XRP community would blow it wide open. So I think that if the truth were known, these guys are probably shocked by what ended up happening. Now, I was watching this commercial right here. This is a Binance. It's not a commercial. Binance it's really a cool thing. I'll show it to you here in a second. And it's on the tallest building in the world in Dubai, and they've got a really cool advertisement, which I'll show you. But while I was watching it, here's what I was thinking. The whole world is racing forward with crypto while the United States is being held back by one power-hungry, arrogant bureaucrat at the SEC who's more worried about his legacy than his country and its standing in the world. Watch this. I think you get the picture. The United States should have crypto advertisements on their buildings and have this kind of a vibe going. But because of one guy, the whole industry is held at hostage. It's ridiculous. Something needs to change in this country. We need Caroline Pham, not Gary Gensler. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family that we need Caroline Pham, not Gary Gensler.